Hello, and welcome back to episode 2 of the mini server build with the minisforum A1. This view may look a little weird because I'm shooting it on the Instalink 360, and I'm going to install today some Intel Optane drives because this is going to be a TrueNAS server. Because it's a server, I'd like the SSDs not to wear out. I do intend to use this partially for some home lab stuff, partially for some game stuff, partially just to try it out with the small form factor, the 2.5 gig ports, and the 1 gig port, to have this as an additional server in the house, as well as a Windows kind of machine. We'll see, because the CPU has integrated graphics. So I'm going to have a 256 gig stick and a 512 gig stick. This is the 256. This is the 512. Am I right about that? Yeah, this is the 512. So I'm going to take apart 2 screws here. I have to take apart this one. I got a screw that I don't need. Oh, I need it. I don't need it right at this moment. Anyway, let me not get confused or distracted. So let's take out these 2 here. And we're going to install both drives. With these drives, we're going to have our boot drive and our Windows machine drive, essentially, to be able to run the server itself and make it nice and easy. I hate this part because there's all this extra kind of padding on there. You can see all this thermal pads. It's not paste, it's definitely pads. And now I have to do the fun thing, and I have to take off these little standoff screws here. So let me get the tool for that. My iFixit toolkit. Grab the right one. I don't think this is the right one. It is not. It is close, but no cigar. I think this is the one. Yep, it is the one. So I have to take off these little standoffs and then re-secure the board. So put my 512 here, like that. These little screws are annoying, to say the least. See, I need this. I actually need this one. I gotta make sure I put this down correctly. Jeez. It's strong enough just to get, just to be frustrating. I don't want to be dropping that all over the place. I'm hoping that this teaches me how to use this properly. We just... There we go. Hey, that's one. I think this is the main boot drive because this is where I had the Windows machine before. So we'll see if that is indeed where it needs to be. If not, then almost lost this little screw I need very badly. So I put the 256 one here. I got that right, and it's 32. Yeah, that's correct. Yep, 256, perfect. You see how frustrating this can be. I just need to start the screw, and I can put the little standoff screw there. And we're back together. Again. Take this, flip it around. Just right back on there like that. Luckily for me, this screwdriver has a very powerful magnet and will allow me to put that back. Now we've got the main drives for this machine together. Don't know that I'm gonna do anything else with this now, but as you can see the insides of this, so taking off the to put the CPU in, the cooler and everything was a pain in the butt, but these screws all come off. But these are where those sodium RAM slots are. I think that's DDR5. But yeah, these should be good enough and be really, really good and set to really just do that. The only thing that's now missing is on the back here, I need to buy the main drives that are going to be the main drives that are going to be 1 and 2 for what I like to call I loosen this screw a little bit. Main drives for what I like to call the main array. I don't think I'm gonna use consumer SSDs. I think I'm gonna splurge and buy the enterprise ones because I do tend to have a fair amount of writes on this. I had a Proxmox server that ended up crashing out on me because I made the mistake of not doing what I was supposed to do and trying a bunch of stuff out and not having and buying a cheap SSD, NVMe SSD. So that really hurt me in the long run because I ended up crapping out and it really sucked. So the next thing for this little beauty is I probably will take this now that it's back together and grab mouse, keyboard, and I need to grab the power and also the other thing that is in the server on the server rack. I need to grab the actual pieces, put them together for the keyboard and mouse to connect all of that. But this is gonna be great because now I can, at the very least, put this in there. I still have all the screws over there that need to go with it. But the beautiful part about this is now I can boot the operating system, which I think is gonna be true NAS scale on this. The latest version, which is Balena etched onto this flash drive, which is my favorite little flash drive to use for all things computer related now, because it just makes it easier for me. And it's a good form factor, nothing sliding. You have the ones that slide. This is just nice and solid and it's fast. So that's next. That's the inside of the MS-A1. We will be working on setting up true NAS scale. I will have to come back and $200 and some, $400 some dollars later, because I want to put some significant drive sizes in here. I want to get like 2 4 terabyte hard drives, or maybe just 1 8 terabyte and put it in there. If it's an enterprise, then it won't matter. It'll last for a very long time. Those drives have lots of terabytes of write life, and they're meant to be wiped almost on a daily basis. So not too concerned about that with those. I am using one right now that is acting as my metadata device in my true NAS scale NAS, and it is fundamentally one of the more beastly things I've had the pleasure of witnessing, because it just works really well. I'm also gonna keep this, which is one of the little drives came in, 256 one, because this is great for storing SSDs. This and this little electrostatic bag. Also, I have this SSD, but I don't think I'll be using it because I had it on my computer, my Mac, and it started to not be recognized, which means that it's either going, needs to be reformatted, or it's just a piece of crap, which I think it is because it was relatively cheap. Not to say that Optane isn't cheap, but it's just made way, way, way better than most consumer stuff. So I need the consistency. I need the actual ability to really, really, really do a lot of writes. So I'm pretty happy with my purchase. And what's next? These little USBs everywhere in here. So yes, that is all for part 2 today. Installing all of that is not the most interesting thing. So I'm going to do that later because it is definitely not the most interesting or fun thing. You have to set IPs and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to switch out a network switch. So I may for that as well. I foolishly thought I bought the much more expensive one, which I didn't. And so now I have to buy a gig switch. I got a good deal on it. It's old. I don't need 10 gig. Not for this network. I mean, I only have a gig, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I am gonna tighten this back up because I don't know when I'm gonna buy those 8 terabytes of amazing power, but one day. Put these screws back in so that mainly these front 2 screws are the ones you have to take out to really get the chassis off of this thing. I usually take out all of them just because I don't want to mess anything up, but you only need to take off these front 2 screws allegedly to pull it on the rails, as you saw. I'm really happy about the MS-A2 because I think they went back to the MS-A1 setup, which is really nice. So yeah. So with that being said, thank you for watching. We'll have more updates next time. I'll probably show you the full setup of what I went through with everything. And until next time, please like and subscribe the video. Share it with your friends. Later.